Selfhate now, and today I have the honor of a fireside chat with the one and only Dr. Emad Rahim, and today we want to talk about his next project, which I think everyone's going to be very excited about. So, hello, Dr. Rahim, how are you doing? Oh, Jumripsur.
Yeah, how you doing?
Good, thank you. So, I hear that on the horizon, you're working on a book.
Yes, I am.
Would you like to tell everyone a little bit more about this book?
Well, the book is called Resilience. Initially, I wanted to call it The Forgotten Genocide, right? But I think that is not necessarily just my story. You know, I think that's the Cambodian story. So I said, you know what, I can't steal this line. But I think my story and a lot of survivors tie back to resilience. Like, in order for you to truly survive, in order for you to truly prosper, you have to be resilient. So resilience is a great word for that. So it's going to be called Resilience, from the killing fields to the boardroom. And that kind of lays out my life experience in regards to where I was born, where my family came from, the killing fields, to eventually making it up to the CEO level, to a university dean level, to a professorship type of level. And then we also are including what we call the SALT model, right? So it's called Resilience, from the killing fields to the boardroom, the SALT effect, right? Which is also known as the SALT model. Now, SALT stands for survival, adapting, leadership, and transformation. Right?
That's beautiful.
So, thank you. So what we want to do is we want to take my stories, various situations that I was that I encountered, both negative situations and positive situations, right? Failures and success, and tie to the SALT model so people can actually use those stories, put themselves in my shoes, and say, how could I survive? How could I adapt? How could I lead? And how can I transform my situation to something greater? Right? So the purpose of the book is a motivational tool, right? It's a life-changing tool, and it's a leadership book, all in one.
That's wonderful. So if I were to browse in a Barnes & Noble, which aisle would I find your book? You mentioned it's a motivational tool.
Yeah, I hope, it would be both in the motivational section, but also in the leadership section. Right? So I think it provides both options. Right? So if you want something motivation, something inspiring, this book is a good piece for you. If you're looking to build your leadership skills, right, your leadership knowledge, and kind of look for ways to apply theory into practice, right, it's also a great tool for that.
Okay, so in this book, how much of Emad Rahim are we going to see? Is this going to be more of the focusing on the Emad Rahim as a CEO, as an entrepreneur, or is this going to be Emad Rahim as the individual, the person? So I guess my question is, how deep are you going to get into the who am I part?
Yeah, it's a mixture of both, right? So I co-authored with Dr. Casey Reason, amazing author, best-selling author, writes about leadership. And what he did was he sat me down, asked me a bunch of questions. I poured my heart, to him, and then he basically wrote a script, right? And he put these stories tie into a SALT model. So in the first chapter, it gives you a real situation, right? Where I'm sitting, in my office, looking at an amazing scenery in Chicago, right? And realize I made it, right? Like I'm here. I'm sitting in this amazing building, got my own office, looking out the window, and then it hit me that I came from this crazy background, this crazy life, right? And at the same time, I have a meeting where I have to talk about stocks, where I have to talk about trade, where I have to talk about the situation that's going on with this publicly traded school that I'm an administrator of, right? So it kind of lays that story, and then as I am drifting off, thinking about my history, thinking about my family, thinking about where I came from, you get a glimpse of each story and how the self model ties to those things.
Well, I know this is, of course, you're still working on the book.
Yeah.
Do you envision that it would be translated into other languages, perhaps? Into Khmer?
Wow. That would be amazing, right? Hopefully it sells like that, right? Hopefully it gets enough interest where people do want to buy the Khmer version, and maybe the Spanish version, right? Because I think we all have powerful stories to share, right? So I just want to use the different experiences that I went through to inspire others, but I also want them to take a look at that and say, you know what, I experienced something similar to that, right? I experienced something worse than that, right? And if he can survive that, so can I, right? If he can overcome that, why not me? So I want people to put themselves in my shoes and consider that there's a lot of opportunities, right? There's a lot of opportunities where you can do something great, right? Yeah.
Absolutely. Are you looking to, I guess in terms of your audience, who do you foresee as being your audience? Is this going to be MBA students? Is this going to be college graduates?
Yeah, we had this conversation back and forth, me and the co-author, and he felt like I need to identify what that audience is, right?
Okay.
But I think that audience can be a lot bigger than just one segment, right? I don't think it should be just for the 18-year-olds or for the MBA students, right? I think if you want to change your life, right? Like Tony Robbins, like he's not just saying like just this tiny population, right? I want anyone that want to make a change, right? If they are looking for a way out, if they are looking to transform their life and the way they live, this book could help you. It's not a solution to everything, right? But it could provide some guidance, right? It could provide some direction.
I wanted to go back to your point about that there's been many books written about the genocide, about the suffering, about the pain. How do you think your book is going to change that narrative of now, okay, we have many books published on the genocide, but now how do you see your book as changing that landscape of Cambodian American literature?
That's a powerful question. I don't think it's going to change the narrative because it's not a genocide book. Right? I'm not talking about the history of the killing fields, but I'm talking about the aftermath, right? Which I think a lot of people don't talk about, right? I am a survivor, but I also prosper, right? So that's what the book is really focusing on. It's my life in America, right? And those things that I had to deal with, but those things I also overcome, right? Those things I overcame, right? And the decisions that I made that allowed me to be successful, right? And the people that were involved to help me be successful. So that's really the focus, right? The focus is not my past, right? My past just is providing a foundation so we can have this conversation, right? Your experience is the past, but it's those experiences that can either make you stronger or make you weaker, right? You have to choose which direction. Do I want to look at my past and look at my experience and say, you know what, I can't survive this, right? So I'm going to settle in what I have and just accept what's given to me and just live a miserable life, I guess, right? Or you can say, you know what, I lived a hard life. I struggled, but I'm still alive. There's still resources here. There's still opportunities here. Let me pave my own way. Let me control my destiny, right? And by doing that, I am hoping that book can give you guidance to make, to choose the right direction.
Right, and we were spending the last, I would say probably 3 days here in beautiful Newport Beach, California. Talking with the other Cambodian American community leaders, and we were discussing how we can help empower our youth, and not even just our youth, but our peers who are also young adults, or even people who are, who have become parents themselves. I guess in terms of maybe wanted to share your thoughts on when you look back on the past 3 days, and just kind of reflecting on everything that we kind of just talked about, and I just want to hear, how do you feel about it? What are some thoughts that are running through your mind?
I realize that, we, even as people that want to make a difference, even we don't know our identity,
It's true.
well enough, right? When someone asks us, what is it like to be a Khmer American, we should be able to say it and be proud of it and not question it and not think about it, right? We also have to look at those two words, right? Those two words are powerful because Khmer comes before American, right?
Absolutely.
Right? So we are Cambodians before we are American. And I'm not saying that one is better than the other, but that's how society sees us, right? Society sees us first as being Cambodian, and then we are American, right? So we have to make sure we truly know our history and who we are before we can say I'm American, right? Because then it ties everything together, right? So you don't feel that one is overpowering the other. Your identity should be balanced, right? You should be proud of being a Cambodian American or Khmer American, right? You should be proud of what you look like, of how you speak, of your culture, of your history, of your family, and what you eat, right?
Absolutely. Right? I'm sure being here so close to Long Beach, food is
wonderful
something.
Food, all great Khmer food, right? But you should also be proud of being born here.
Absolutely.
Right? You should also be proud of going to school here, of being a part of this American culture, right? Because that makes who you are. That's a part of you. But you can't escape that. You shouldn't escape that. But you shouldn't escape being a Khmer either, right? So you have to truly know your identity by knowing your history, knowing your family, knowing, your DNA, like what makes you unique. And we are unique, like all of us are unique. All of us are amazing people.
Yes.
So I think that, being here with you and then with our cohort members and being a part of this foundation just allowed me to really reflect on that. Like even I sometimes grapple with that identity, right? Because it's a lot more complicated than we really think.
It's very loaded, and I think a lot of our peers growing up here, we faced there's a phase of self-hate.
Yes.
Of being ashamed of going to the supermarket and your mother speaking Khmer very loudly.
Yes.
In an American supermarket,
Yes.
or things like making fun of bahok because. Or like, oh, I don't eat that stuff. Or I think we all go through that phase of that denial. But then comes a time where we actually learn to embrace it.
Yes.
And I think as we get older, we learn to appreciate it more. And I think you did it so eloquently at the Khmer Student Coalition Conference in November 2014 at the University of the Pacific. You spoke about not knowing your family history and how it took discovering that for you to be able to progress and move forward, because you had to kind of look back and answer the who am I question.
And those students are not alone. I want people to feel that they are not alone. We all go through that. I did not want to be identified as being Cambodian. One is that because no one knew what that is, right? So it's like I don't want to say I'm Cambodian just to explain what I am later on. I just want to say something and just leave it, right? So it was easy for a person like me, especially being a teenager, to kind of be the other, right? I was always that ambiguous looking guy, right? I always looked biracial, so it's like people accepted me as maybe he's black and Asian, right? Maybe he's Puerto Rican and Asian. Maybe he's, I've always so many different ethnicities.
Right.
So it's easy for people to just say, I just accept you as being the other, right? But the other, you know, I don't know what that is, right? And I didn't feel like explaining that, right? Because explaining that meant that I needed to know what I was, which I wasn't ready to do, right? So I think a lot of us fall in that category, like we are not ready, right? But you shouldn't feel ashamed of it. You shouldn't hide your ethnicity. You shouldn't hide your identity, because that's what makes you powerful. That's what makes you unique.
Absolutely, and I think we do have the fortune of living in the United States where diversity is all around us.
Yes.
And, you know, you lived in New York and you grew up with probably predominantly non-Cambodians,
yes.
And so you've learned to embrace other cultures that influence your upbringing.
Yes.
I guess my next question, I wanted to kind of just look back and talk about, you know, kind of how did you get from, you know, the title of your book again is from
This is resilience
from the killing fields to the boardroom. So, I mean, what was that road like?
Yeah.
Did you just program in your GPS? I mean, when I guess my question is what point in your life did you actually program that in and said, you know what, one day I am going to get my PhD, one day I am going to be a professor, and one day, you know what, I am going to be a chief executive officer. So when was that moment?
You know, it was when my daughter was born, right? When my wife told me I'm pregnant, right? And it hit me that I was going to be responsible for someone else, right? My wife is an adult, right? But now I'm responsible for a child, right? And I did not want to be like my stepfather, right? He was an awful person. He was an awful parent, right? And I did not want my child to end up being a part of the statistics, right? So I wanted to be the best father that I could be, right? So, and like a lot of Cambodians and a lot of people that are underrepresented, people that are at risk, right? There's no plan B, right? So when you put a plan in motion, you have to move forward, right? I didn't know what that plan was, but I know that I needed my environment to look different in order for my daughter to be successful. And at the time, education seemed to be that option for me. Now, I did not enjoy education. I feared education. I barely graduated high school. You know, I had been placed in special education for several years. I was placed in one of the worst high schools in upstate New York with the highest dropout rate. I was an ESL student, right? I had a learning disability. So I had all these things going against me. And the only reason I graduated high school was because I was in this program called OLC, which stands for Occupational Learning Center, and it allowed me to go to school for half the day in the morning and spend the afternoon at a vocational school where I could actually learn a trade. That was the only way I graduated high school. So when I went off to college, I didn't even know what college was. I didn't know what it is. I just knew that's what everybody did. And I couldn't get into a university. I got into a community college because my grades were not good enough. Right? And even at the community college, I spent 5 years out of 2-year school. I was on academic probation, right? I was losing my Pell Grant. I was losing everything. But it took that child. It took my baby. You know, it took her for me to say, I need to wake up. I need to do something different, right? And luckily, there was a shift. You know, we talk about disruptors, right? Disruption. Education had changed when I was ready to make that change myself. All of a sudden, you start seeing more online programs. I started seeing more adult-centered type of programs. More universities were creating after-school, evening classes, weekend classes that allowed someone like me that worked full-time, often 3 jobs, to hold it down and go to school at the same time. So I was able to find a non-traditional university, right, and work one-on-one with someone who knew how to work with a student that was dyslexic, right? And taught me that what I have was not a disability. It was an opportunity, right? When he said that to me, it just changed everything because it made me realize that I was not handicapped. I just learned different. And when I figured out what my learning style was, it was a done deal, right? So it was like I graduated, I completed my associates, right? And I was like, that's not bad. And when you did that, there was a sense of fulfillment. There was a sense of accomplishment that I never felt before, right? It was like an adrenaline rush. And then I went after my bachelor's. And I got that, and I was like, that's not that bad, right? And there's like another adrenaline rush, right? So it was like an addiction, right? Exactly, I got that. So I got this, right? And as I got my education, as I continued my education, so did my self-esteem, right? So did my communication skills, so did my cultural awareness, my problem-solving skills, my critical thinking, emotional intelligence, all these things, life skills, right? In addition to academic education, life skills, right? Things that I could not learn being in the community that I was, right? Being stuck in this bubble, not stepping outside my comfort zone. Only an institution like higher education can provide you that opportunity to step outside your comfort zone if you can't leave your community, right? And so while I was earning these degrees, I was also getting new experience, and those experiences just became better experience, right? New job opportunities, and then all of a sudden I found myself starting a non-for-profit, right? And that non-for-profit grew.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Exactly, right? So it's like, but I think when you're on this roller coaster of opportunities, it's always important to reflect, right? Reflect what you have, reflect what you accomplished, and reflect how can you move this forward. You can't be comfortable, right? Right? Nothing is given to you. What you have now could change tomorrow. So you have to have that foresight to say, how can I make this bigger? How can I make this better? So that's what happened. It was like a roller coaster that just kept on going and allowed more opportunities and allowed me to find new friendships and increase my network.
Well, it's great. It's something you were kind of joking about earlier, but you mentioned sometime in your past was that you wrote on a piece of paper. Is that right?
Yeah.
And you wrote Doctor.
Yes, I did.
Emad Rahim.
Yeah.
So how does it feel now to see that? I mean, what is the feeling if you could come up with one word that describes the feeling that you have, knowing that you had written that down many, many years ago, and having it be reality now? What is the one word that comes to mind? Wow, that's I never thought about that. Grateful. Extremely grateful. Right? Because I don't think I could be here if it wasn't for my wife, if it wasn't for my daughter, if it wasn't for family, community. Because I did not accomplish this by myself, right? I would be the most arrogant person in the world, right, to say I did this on my own, right? There were a lot of people that paved the way, that pushed me when I needed, right? That gave me the resources and support when I was ready to give up, right? So I did not, accomplish this alone. But at the same time, I'm never satisfied, right? So it's like I believe in the law of attraction, right? So when I wanted to become a doctor, it was not like I'm gonna become a doctor, right? Like I think something's wrong with me. Yeah, exactly, right? So I envisioned what that looked like. I saw myself teaching, right? I saw myself changing lives. I saw myself, being inspired by other students, right? And traveling the world. And that to me was the important piece, not the title of it, right? So, but being this Cambodian guy who didn't really accomplish much in life and had this story that was more negative than positive, I knew that I had to do more. I couldn't just do what people consider the minimum, right? So if you're saying this is great, I have to be greater.
And I think we have to always think about that, right?
Absolutely.
Right? And also being Cambodian, right? And being lumped in as part of this Asian population, it's like if you got a doctorate, you're like, of course you got a doctorate. Of course. You're Asian.
Right, the model minority.
Exactly, with a minority. So it's like you ended up having to explain how difficult it was to earn this level of education. Right? It's like, it's not given to me. Right? And it's almost like you have to downplay it. Right? And I found that another struggle. It was like I was offended when people kind of downplay this accomplishment. Like, of course you got a doctorate. You probably got a scholarship on top of that, right? And you probably got it in math or science.
Right.
Your family's probably wealthy, of course, right? So it was interesting to, be engaged in this conversation and realize there's a larger problem here, right? So that's really the work that I am more interested in, that I'm more proud of, right? It's not the Dr. Rahim, who's a professor of business, right? But it's Emad Rahim that is looking to be an agent of change in his community, right? To be a transcender that is helping to transform the lives of other people, right? And the community.
Wow. I mean, this is so incredible. It's amazing. It's amazing what you've accomplished. And I guess I want to wrap it up with your father. So of course we're going to start thinking about the future. So in terms of being a father, we're talking about being Cambodian American, and what are your hopes for your daughter? What do you see? When she goes on to college, what is the one thing that your legacy? What is the one thing that you want to instill in her? So obviously, you mentioned that all of us here, our time is not guaranteed.
Yeah.
So what do you want to instill in your daughter that she will always carry with her?
Well, it's daughters now.
Daughters.
I have
Oh,
two now,
wow!
yeah.
Congratulations.
Yes,
That's
I have two
wow.
now, yeah.
Well, double trouble, right?
Double trouble. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
You know what? I've been thinking about this since they've been born. Right? I want them, when they look at a man, I want them to see me. Right? I want them to always look at the character of a man, and and question that character.
Yeah.
Right? Like what was it that my father did that makes me so proud? Right? That makes me so strong. Right? And if that person don't have those values, that don't express those characters, I want them to know right away that's not the man for you. Right? But at the same time, I want them to feel proud of who they are. I want them to go through this world extremely confident in who they are, in their background, in their history, in what they want to do in their life, right? And not give a damn about what other people say, right? Because also my children are biracial, right? They're Cambodian, they're African American, right? And they're Muslims. So it's like a triple whammy, right? It's like they're going to have it, I think, 3 times as hard just because of that, right? They're going to deal with racism, stereotype in many different ways, but I want them to be strong and confident and confront those problems in a respectful manner, in a way that will make me proud. And if that happens, I'm good.
That's beautiful. Well, I just want to say thank you again, for this. We were just kind of joking about having a fireside chat, and look at us now. Okay, like watch out, Oprah. So I want to thank you, really. I mean, in the past 3 days, we've all spent a lot of time together and learned about each other. But I feel that every time we have a conversation, really, truly, I'm so honored to be in your presence, and I truly mean that from the bottom of my heart. I mean, I think we have a lot of our younger, just Cambodian brothers and sisters that could really, really benefit from hearing stories such as yours, where you don't have to have a silver spoon to be successful.
Exactly.
Is that you are the driver of your own destiny, and it's how you program your GPS nowadays, on that smartphone. So I just want to say thank you, and thank you everyone. So quick plug. So again, Dr. Emad Rahim is writing a book.
Yes.
Resilience, from the killing fields to the boardroom. So stay tuned. Check it out. Go to your local. I don't know. Whenever it comes out, though, I'm sure we're gonna announce it on Facebook. So
peace.
All right.